Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Ted Heller. I'm the band director here at North Bend High School. We have an extravaganza for you this evening. Those of you that attended Hershey on Saturday, you look across this field right now and you see it to be close to Sun Devil Stadium from the condition which we performed on Saturday. You'll see that there are no puddles. There's no one out there with a squeegee board wiping the puddles away. There's no major decisions being made midfield. It's a much more comfortable evening, hopefully. So welcome to balmy, for this evening, let's call it balmy Marching Night Stadium. And I hope you enjoy the show. This evening has been well thought out for weeks and months. Don't think that we're just making this up as we go, or as I go. But in honor of Veterans Day, I think it would be appropriate for all of us to sing the national anthem. And we have many performers here this evening, many musicians, and you look on the field right now, there is not one ready to perform because the performers right now are in the stands. So, I am going to ask the audience, to stand and assist me in singing the national anthem. I will get you started. I beg of you, please sing with me. Please, I will take the microphone away. I'll get us started. The flag is over there. And if you're not in uniform, your hat is off. And I will wait for our friends. I'll start us. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave? Thank you very much. This evening is an evening of award-winning marching bands. This evening was produced a couple of years ago for many people could not attend championships, be it at Giant Stadium or at Hershey. So we came up with the idea of having a marching band evening where we would go through a couple of the motions, show you the warm-up techniques, and then do a run-through at the end of the evening. So we weren't sure if it was going to work, so our first year we didn't know what to expect. And we had about the same wonderful crowd size that we have here this evening, and we decided to stay with it. This year's format is going to be slightly different because one reason is band night that was scheduled was allegedly rained out. Those of you that were in attendance realized that there was no rain that evening, but tonight is band night. It is also a night of recognizing championship performances. The middle school program, which has been recognized at the Springford competition, and you'll hear more about that later on. I also thought it would be appropriate to invite our neighbors, the Methacton Warrior Marching Band, Mr. Brett Mascaro, director, who have won the Independence Conference. Yeah. I thought it would be appropriate to invite our award-winning neighbors. Now, those of you that look out, you do not see the likes of Wissahickon and Hatboro Horsham. I do want to let you know that they won their class and their division. They were invited to perform, but they had scheduling conflicts. So I just want to make sure that you knew that I did ask them. And I think we're ready. We're going to have the middle school perform their music. Then the Marching Knights and Methacton will join together for a combined piece of America. When you count, don't bother counting, because you're going to lose count somewhere around 300 to 400. Trust my number, and I think it's close to 668 performers on the field. So save your time counting, just sit back and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the Marching Knights announcer, Mr. Ron Higgins.
Thank you, Ted. Want to wait for these people to start moving here? Okay. The North Penn Middle School Band is comprised of over 400 7th, 8th, and 9th grade students from Pembroke, Penndale, and Penfield Middle Schools. There are, and don't count them, 280 instrumentalists and 126 color guard members. These students have been rehearsing together since the beginning of October. Tonight's program opens with Flash Fire by Bill Locklear, directed by Mr. Donald Klein. Next comes Summon the Heroes by John Williams, written for the 100th anniversary of the Modern Olympic Games and directed by Mr. Alan Malachowski. The program closes with Excelsior by Robert W. Smith and directed by Mr. Peter New. The North Penn Middle School Band recently performed at the Springfield Middle School Marching Band Festival. At Springford, the band received the High Brass and High Rifle Awards. That's pretty neat. High Brass and High Rifle. Schools Marching Band.
Mr. New.
Now both the Marching Knights and the Methacton Warriors Marching Band will join the middle schools. We'll have a number, America, a symphonic arrangement by Mr. Tom Wallace, and that will be conducted by Mr. Ted Heller.
Here we go!
and gentlemen, the combined middle schools marching band, the Methacton Warriors, and the North Penn Marching Knights. Let's hear it one more time for them.
By the way, those of you that do not know, this is the band director of Methacton High. Get back here. Well, and no, he's not field crew, he's the director. That, ladies and gentlemen, not only is he the band director of Methacton, but he is also a North Penn graduate of 1976. 1976. Do you have any words?
I'd like to thank Mr. Heller for inviting the Methacton Band to this prestigious event. I want to thank all the community members for being here, and I think he's doing a great job in spite of the fact that he went to Temple instead of Westchester.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, who invited him? Me? Okay, if you'll just give us a moment, we're trying to get our friends over here situated, and then the Methacton Band will be on. You hear it? But before we do, Mr. New, if you could keep on instructing them over closer to the 50-yard line. And not that middle school children are loud, but if you could just have them keep it down to a mild roar. I want to introduce to you my very good and close friend, dear friend from Methacton, Mrs. Marie Fizakis. Mrs. Marie Fizakis, my very good friend.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. And I would like to introduce the Methacton High School Warrior Marching Band for 1996. Warrior Marching Band continues the tradition of performing a field show using music from the world of jazz. Limehouse Blues kicks off the program with an energetic arrangement from the pen of Tom Davis, with a solo by Dave Berg. Next, the Methacton Marching Band explores the unique interplay of salsa and double-time swing in an exciting piece called You Snooze, You Lose by Victor Lopez, trio by Chris Musialik, Melinda Musialik, and Dave Jones. Nobody's going to slip through this one. Finally, Methacton dedicates a great ballad to the queen of jazz vocalists, Ella Fitzgerald, with the playing of God Bless the Child, arranged by Sammy Nestico, with solos by Dan Nigaman, Chris Musialik, and Matt Pischel. Student leaders for the Warrior Marching Band include Aaron McLaughlin, drum major, Elizabeth Fritz, president, Claire Roberts, guard captain, Adam Chantry, percussion captain, Chris Musialik, and Jeff Berganahan, section leaders, Renee Shaw, secretary and guard captain, Allison Fritz, librarian, Dan Nigaman, historian, Brian Birds, and Rhett Markle, managers. Now I'll take a deep breath. The instructional staff is under the direction of band director Brett Mascaro and Veronica Mascaro, our assistant director. The percussion staff includes Ted Raffetto, percussion, Dan Wears-Vicky, percussion, Mike Herr, color guard, Denise Shannon, color guard, and Annette Eddowes, marching. The Warrior Marching Band would like to thank Principal Barry Prager and the administration staff and students of Methacton High School for their support. Also, the performers and staff would like to thank President Marie Musialik and the Methacton Music Boosters for their limitless time, effort, and financial support of the Methacton High School Marching Band. And now we proudly present the 1996 Cavalcade of Band champions, the Methacton High School Warrior Marching Band under the field leadership of drum major Miss Erin McLaughlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Methacton Warrior Marching Band. The 1996 Independence Conference champions. I would also like to take the time to recognize all the parents from the sewing committee to the quartermaster and all the people that are moving this. And I started to write down all the names of the parent helpers, and I realized I better not do this because if I forget somebody, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So what I want to do is I really want to say a special thank you to the North Penn Music Aides and Mr. Greg Powers, President, for all their support this year. Part of this evening is to bring out my staff and have you associate names with faces, because you're seeing right now only the band director, and it is not just me, it is my entire staff that put this act together. So I'd like to introduce my staff. Okay, here we go. Time for my staff, and the staff will join me front and center stage. I would like to say a special thank you. She's not a part of our regular staff, but I'd like to thank Lori Rabler, who is our show and script consultant. Lori is on top of the press box coming from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We'd like to thank Lori for her efforts. I'd also like to thank a special band parent who helped out with the stage direction, and that was Andrea Roney. Mrs. Roney, the mother of Connell Roney, our drum major. I want to say a special thank you. First of all, starting at the top of my list, on the top of the list, a North Penn graduate of 1982, helping with the color guard, Mr. Bill Anders. Big band Bill. Another color guard instructor, Craig Biesecker. Craig. A recent North Penn graduate who is now working in the New Hope Salisbury district right now. We'd like to get her on board the North Penn staff somehow. Miss Kara Dice on music staff. And you'll realize how success breeds success and the number of North Penn graduates we have here this evening. Another North Penn graduate and an ex-drum major helping out in the visual design there, Mr. Phil DePold. The color guard instructor, another North Penn graduate, Donna Furman. Another North Penn graduate, percussion instructor, Brian Green. Thanks, Brian. Where are you, Brian? Brian up top there. Helping out on the music instruction staff, Mr. Rich Hammond. Another music instructor working in our district and department chairperson, Mr. John Jostin. Not too much, please. Another North Penn graduate. One of the oldest North Penn graduates that we have with us, besides Brett Mascaro, Tom Kelly, graduate 1981 percussion instructor. Tom Kelly. I need to take just a quick moment because I need to stall. This design of the show that you've been watching throughout the season was developed back in early spring of last year, spring of '96, when we had a gathering of my design team at my house, and Mr. Eric Kitchman said, "Let's try this. Let's try a sound system. Let's try narration. Let's try a stairway, and let's try smoke, and let's try all this stuff." And I said, "You're out of your mind." And he said, "Who cares, but let's do it anyway." This design you're going to watch this evening, it is the staff's credit, but the major design portion came from our good friend, Mr. Eric Kitcheman. To be with us this evening, our musical arranger, Mr. Mac Krapaski, Steve Culp, another North Penn graduate. Steve Culp on the visual instructors. Another brass instructor who is currently in Tokyo working with a drum corps in Japan, Mr. Larry Markevich. Could not be here, but decided to be in Tokyo. Another North Penn employee at the middle school, a music instructor, Mr. Peter New. Visual instructor, Mr. Keith Overton. Color guard instructor, Michelle Owens. Percussion instructor, Dom Peranti. Percussion instructor on the top there, Mr. Bill Paletti. Another North Penn graduate, Mr. Tim Riker on percussion staff. Our costume design. This woman had a student in the band a couple of years ago. We brought her back to help us out, Mrs. Nancy Shaponik. Another color guard instructor and another North Penn graduate, Mr. Brian Stout. And another and final North Penn graduate, percussion instructor, Mr. Eric Williamson. He's not a North Penn graduate, but helping out on our visual design, Mr. Mark Metz. There you go. Now we're winding down to the show of all shows. But before we do, I would like to turn the program over to a new but very strong supporter of our North Penn Marching Night team, the principal of North Penn High School, Dr. Vincent Cotter.
Thank you. I'm a very strong supporter of this program, but I don't know if Ted's trying to kill me off. Ted invited me to Hershey on Saturday, and if you know anything about the weather in Hershey on Saturday, it was unbelievable. And of course tonight it's freezing. Anyway, the Marching Knights, what a tremendous program, what a tremendous group of students, just unbelievable. And as Ted indicated before, it truly takes an entire community to have a championship band and marching band. It takes many, many people. Ted alluded to the parents, the volunteers, the consultants, the students themselves, and the dedication that they exhibited. When I was at Hershey on Saturday, Ted said to me, come on down and take a look at the field. I went down, it was absolutely unbelievable. It was like oatmeal. And I said to Ted, do you really think the students can roll around on this grass and do the performance? He said, Dr. Cotter, if we ask them to, they will. And certainly they did perform, and part of that was the dedication to the program, the training, the commitment that these students have. I have the absolute admiration for this program, the students in it, the parents, the volunteers, just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. The second conclusion that I have, and Mr. Heller is going to help me with this, I was hoping our band would be here, but Mr. Heller, the second conclusion I have about it, first of all, it takes a community to develop a strong marching band like this. The second conclusion that I have is, hold the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, a drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a drum roll, please. Feet on the feet. Yeah.
And without the band, it's only a game. That's a thank you.
That's why he's the principal, people. That's why he's the principal. Because he can wear those shirts and not get in trouble for it. Who cares, you know? What are they going to do, fire him? No. That's why he's the principal. But he's made the transition. He's done a spectacular job. Just because he supported this organization as much as he has. So thank you very much, Dr. Cotter. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about there. And Mr. Williamson. Marching Knights, if you could take position, please. Marching Knights, if you could take position, please. This will be our final evening performance of this year. This is our final evening performance. The next performance is scheduled to be the Thanksgiving Day football game. It should be a much more balmier weather than what you're having this evening. If I could get the Marching Knights to the field. Attention to the bleachers behind me. The count should be 13 championships in the past 17 years. And that is part director Mr. Heller, but it is much more part of Mr. Steve Frederick than it is Mr. Ted Heller. And unfortunately, Mr. Frederick couldn't be here with us this evening, but I wanted to thank him. And also on this table here on my left, you have the Yankee and Independence Conference Championship trophies. So we'll leave them up later on this evening if you want to possibly get a picture with your child by the trophy table. That's what it's there for. Free of charge, ladies and gentlemen, free of charge. And ladies and gentlemen, why don't I turn the program over to our announcer, Mr. Ron Higgins.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The North Penn School District and the North Penn Music Aids take great pride in presenting the North Penn Marching Knights. The Marching Knights total 162 student members in the band and band front. The Marching Knights staff is under the direction of Ted Heller. Student leaders of the Marching Knights are flute Nicole Clarkston and Becky Mayer. Clarinet, Megan Herr and Peter Colvin. Alto sax, Greg Fox. Low sax, Ron Capusta. Trumpet, Natalie LaBelle and Adam Taylor. Mellophone, Melissa Kalstrand. Baritone, Alex Udovics. Trombone, Bill Moore and Mike Pilquist. Tuba, Ryan Kriegel. Percussion, Mike Wojcik. Pit, Whitney Simpson. Band front, Amanda Markey, Christy Peterman, Sherry Owens, Lori Malazzi and Megan Driscoll. North Penn Marching Knights are continuing a tradition of entertainment and education. This year's presentation is Sergei Prokofiev's 1936 ballet, Romeo and Juliet. The Marching Knights version of Romeo and Juliet featured performers are Kevin Ward as Romeo and Juliet, Megan Rash. Reading texts from Shakespeare are narrators Nan Robbins, Shane Serino, and Whitney Simpson. The opener is Prologue. Next is Morning Dance with a trombone duet by Bill Ingram and Bill Moore. The ballad A Time for Us, composed by Nino Rota, includes a trumpet solo by Adam Taylor. A selection, Thibault's Death, features the percussion section. Funeral Procession follows next with a trombone solo by Bill Moore. The Marching Knights close with Epilogue in a trumpet duet by Adam Taylor and Natalie LaBelle and a trumpet solo by Rob Boss.
I'm yelling for you to come up.
I'd like to also mention on baritone solo, Mr. Alex Udovitz on baritone, okay?
All right.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventure piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio. And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off. And in this bride likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 2 or 40 hours, and then wake from the cleansing. A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow shall not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Your host for this evening, the 1996 Cavalcade of Bands Yankee Conference champions, the North Penn High School Marching Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.